Hey folks, welcome. In this lesson, much like the last lesson, we're going to use some techniques in auto-scaling to perform blue-green deployments. And again, this is a case where either you can't or you don't want to use DNS with your blue-green deployments. And we're going to accomplish this using our launch configurations for auto-scaling. So in the DevOps doctrine, let's go into Update ASG Launch Config. All right, so again, for whatever reason, Route 53 is not in the picture here. We're not going to use it to route our traffic. So this is a very similar case to the last case. Let's go into EC2, and let's go into auto-scaling groups. All right, and we have an auto-scaling group with 3 instances. So when we think about the basics of launch configurations, the picture becomes clearer how we can use them for blue-green deployments. So remember, there can only be one launch configuration with an auto-scaling group at one time, and it can't be modified after you create it, but you can replace it. So let's go into launch configurations. All right, and we have a blue launch configuration which is attached to our auto-scaling group, and we have a green launch configuration. So let's go back to our auto-scaling group and let's edit. We're going to change to our green launch configuration. And remember the fundamentals of this, what this is going to do. The old instances from the blue launch configuration are going to stay the same, but any subsequent instances will be launched from our green launch configuration. And I'm going to close out this lesson in full screen mode. All right, so again, we changed to the new launch configuration. Now, what we need to do is double the size of our auto-scaling group. The new instances that this spawns are going to be launched from our new launch configuration. And I'm sure you can see by now where this is going. It's adding our 3 new instances. So the old instances are still up. They're still serving our application. The new instances are being created, so we don't have any downtime. And I'm just going to open the second tab. And just to be different with the new launch configuration, we're adding T2 nanos. They're running not quite through their status checks yet. All right, looks like we're ready. So we now have 6 instances. 3 from the old launch configuration. 3 from the new launch configuration. So we're ready to go. We're ready to do the switch over. So now we're going to edit our auto-scaling group again, back to its original size. Now what's going to happen is that the instances from the old launch configuration are the ones that are going to be terminated. So I'll click Save, and let's keep an eye up here. We have our little notice, and again, our desired is 3, our max is 3, so we're going to be losing some instances as expected. Let's go over to EC2, and note, we have 3 instances shutting down. Note the key name from the original launch configuration. Our new ones, the T2 nanos, are fine. So when this completes, we will have successfully performed a blue-green deployment just using the auto-scaling group launch configuration, replacing it with a new launch configuration. Now, if for some reason we needed to do a rollback, well then we could just put the old launch configuration back into place, double our auto-scaling group size again, the old type of instances will be spun up from the old launch configuration, and we can terminate our T2 nanos. So that's how we can do a blue-green deployment with our launch configurations. So go ahead and mark this lesson complete, and let's move on to the next.